Hi, and welcome back to the third part in how to make a right-handed guitar into a left-handed guitar. Now I'm removing the clamps from last video where we basically plugged up the hole for the controls. And now I'm just scraping away some of the squeezed out glue, making sure that the new wood and the sides of the guitar are aligned, so that there isn't a gap or a difference in level between. And here I'm drawing out a belly cut, because I want to make sure this guitar really feels and looks like it's a left-handed guitar. I don't want anyone to look at it and think that I've made a right-handed guitar into a left-handed guitar. So I decided that, hey, if I make a belly cut on it, it will really look like it's a left-handed guitar, even though I know SGs don't have it. But I don't want anyone to think this is a Gibson anyway, so it's my own brand of guitar, or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just drawing out some lines so to help me, just, guidelines. And so I'm just drawing them out. And here I'm also drawing out the armrest cover cut away, because the SG had this on the other side, obviously, when it was a right-handed guitar, so I'm just making the same lines over at this side. So I'm just trying to connect them so I can remove this part. So I'm just following those lines that are already in the guitar. Just, it's not something you have to do if you don't feel comfortable with it or want to do it. If you want people to see that your guitar is a right-handed guitar made left-handed, you can keep them, but I don't want that. And then I'm taking an angle grinder and just going to town, You have to be really careful though, because an angle grinder, cuts the wood really fast. So this is obviously sped up as usually, but it's still really fast. So you can destroy your guitar really quickly if you are not if you don't know what you're doing. If you're uncomfortable with doing this, you can do it with a rasp and go slowly. But I don't know, I've done this so many times now that I feel like I can do this fairly simple and easy. And then I'm doing it the same thing to the side, just making sure I'm keeping that line feeling like I'm just trying to connect it, basically, to make sure it feels like it's always been there and not something I've modified. That's like basically everything I'm doing. I'm just trying to make sure that it doesn't seem like it's out of place or something that shouldn't be there because it's weird. So that's my estimations. I mean, you can buy a Telecaster with a belly cut, and it's like just a Telecaster with a belly cut. So you should be able to buy an SG with a belly cut too. And that's basically how I'm justifying it for myself. And here I'm just cleaning it up again. It's just, you can do the whole thing this way if you are uncomfortable with an angle grinder, but basically I'm just smoothing everything out to make sure that it doesn't look like it's something someone's done in their garage. So I'm just and here I'm spraying some plaster dip on, which is basically just like plastic spray. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want the paint to soak into the wood. When I paint this guitar, I want it to stay on top of the guitar. And it's going to do that on the lacquered parts of the guitar, but it's not going to do it on the raw wood parts. So I'm just doing it so it won't look weird when I do paint the guitar later on. And And now I plugged the holes of the bridge, the two pneumatic bridge. So now I'm re-drilling them because a left-handed guitar needs to have the spacing the other way around. And as you probably know, the bridge is at an angle, so I need to drill the holes in the opposite angle, so that the bass side of the guitar is longer, basically. And I'm just using first a 6mm to drill a pilot hole, and then I'm just taking a step bit to get the right size, so that I'm sure that everything lines up correctly. And then I switch my I switch out to a flat bit, and I drill the right size of the hole all the way through. Well, not entirely through the guitar, but you know what I mean, to the right depth. Right through would be very sad. Imagine if I did that. That would be horrible. And here I'm aligning the neck the way it's supposed to sit if I hadn't, modified it. And I'm just screwing down the screws, and I'm using these little metal plates just so I can, instead of the actual back plate that the guitar came with. And it's just so I can draw the new line, because I need to I need to move the end of the neck back a bit and blend it into the new end of the guitar body, just to make sure it looks like it's supposed to belong together. And I'm just using my spindle sander for this, and it's not that hard, and it didn't take that long. I'm just basically just rounding over this square piece of wood. And here you can see more detail, and what I'm doing is I'm just taking a razor blade and I'm cleaning up some, basically using it as a mini plane, and making sure the wood looks right. And here I'm putting the body on, and it's and you can see how well it goes together. It really looks like they belong. And here I'm pushing, I'm just taking the sawdust that was created when I shaped the neck, and I'm pushing it down into the holes of the guitar neck, the two ones further up on the neck, and I just push down as tightly as I can to really fill up the space in the holes with sawdust. And then I'm taking some super glue, and I'm just putting the super glue right over the hole, and that will solidate the holes and make them disappear. And then I can, use sandpaper, and I can fix it up and make it smooth, and basically make sure the hole doesn't exist anymore. And then when I paint over the holes, you're really not going to be able to see them. So I'm just and then as you can see, the binding is first of all, it's ugly, but it's also already been ruined a bit, so I'm just removing it, which I would do anyway, because I want to put on new binding, and I also want the side dots to be on the opposite side, since this is a right-handed guitar, and turning into a left-handed, I need to move the side dots. And it's really easy if you're replacing the binding. I would recommend, if you want to move the side dots to the other side, I recommend just switching the binding. It's the easiest. So that's, if you have a guitar that doesn't have binding, you have to drill the holes and then fill them up with similar looking wood, and then re-drill the hole on the other side, and it's a pain. You can definitely do that if you want to, but if you have a guitar with binding, it's really easy. So as you can see, it's just basically just breaks off super easy. And this is how it looks when you don't have any binding on your binded guitar neck. Which, if you want to, you can keep it like this, but I don't know. Why would you? And that's it for this video. I'm really happy you watched it. Thank you so much.